And so it's good right from Haslam.
It is. Now, entering his last lap, the race leader, MAX Biaggi, on the RSV4 factory Aprilia. What better time to take delivery of the first RSV4 to be sold by Aprilia Motorcycles up in Wallasey. Tony McMahon, former councillor up there, will be receiving his motorcycle from them next week, and it's the full-blown bells and whistles road bike.
It's called the Factory.
It's called the Factory, is it?
That's what it's called, yeah.
Good job Tony made a lot of money and retired early and can spend it on toys like that, because I'm sure he's going to enjoy it almost as much as MAX Biaggi is going to enjoy this, their first victory. Well, he's not there yet, but it's looking that way. Everybody will have fingers crossed in that garage, and I know how crossed fingers can get, because Andrea Whittam used to cross her double-jointed fingers, and it was a terrifying sight when her husband was out on track.
It didn't work often.
And James, of course, will be out on track again at British Superbikes Brands Hatch. Second weekend in August, when joining the likes of Giacomo Agostini and Jim Redman, and even, I think, your old mucker Mick Grant. So be there to enjoy that. Meantime, enjoy the fact that Aprilia are going to really announce their presence in World Superbikes, back in World Superbikes in 2009. Because they're going to take their first race victory of the season, and I think it will hoist MAX Biaggi past Leon Haslam perhaps into 5th place in the championship. MAX Biaggi, he's just got 2 turns to go to take victory here for Aprilia, the first of the World Superbike races at Brno, and MAX Biaggi will take his 9th victory of his career here in the outer motordrome of the Czech Republic. Tremendous ride by him. The first victory for Aprilia is about to happen. They can't fail. He's just looking quietly back over his shoulder. I won't try a big wheelie, because I nearly looked out at the Motorcycle 500 Grand Prix I won here.
That's almost better, actually, just a cool kind of cruise across the line.
Second place goes to Carlos Checa, third for Jonathan Ray, so a second and third place for the Hanspeed 10 Carter team, 4th place for Shaky Byrne, great ride, 5th, great news for BMW and Troy Corser, bike number 11, 6th place goes to Jakob Smerts, 7th is held onto by Leon Haslam, 8th place for Norrie Hager to extend his lead in the championship. What a tremendous performance by these fellas, every one of them. MAX Biaggi, he's taken victory here, and MAX Biaggi number 3, that is his 90th World Superbike race, his 4th victory, his 28th podium, but I reckon it's probably the best victory of all, because it's for the Italian Aprilia factory, for whom he won 3 250cc World Championships back in the 1990s.
Yeah, Biaggi around Brno, it's like Fogarty around Assen.
It is, yes. Loves the place.
Yep.
Can do no wrong, it seems. Well, he was obviously helped by that huge mistake from his fellow Roman Michel Fabrizio when about 4 laps in, but he was right in the mix there with Fabrizio, with Ben Spies for that potential race win. Hey, be careful, gentlemen, they're a bit elderly for jumping up and down.
They do look a bit old to be clinging onto a fence.
And the crowds rise to MAX Biaggi here. There's a few number 3s on the banners in there. We're not really that far from Italy, you know, just across a blip across Austria and the Tyrol, and you're up here to Brno. And MAX Biaggi enjoying the accolades after taking the first victory that Aprilia have had in World Superbikes with the RSV4.
In the recent time.
With their rebirth in World Superbikes. Because, of course, race wins have... Oh, that lad with...
He's got a long run on his hands.
He did have. Oh, Max has realised and stopped. I think he's probably expired with a heart attack by now, that lad. He was... It's an all-Italian victory, of course. MAX Biaggi of Rome and Aprilia. The factory Aprilia finally does the job. Well, like you say, James, I suppose if it was your test track and you've tested here, it's the time to do it. Biaggi wins ahead of Carlos Checa and Jonathan Ray. Good news for Honda, because they weren't doing well early in the weekend. Shaky Byrne 4th ahead of Troy Corser, Jakob Smerts, Leon Haslam. Nitro Norrie rescues 8 points ahead of Matthew Legrive, and Makoto Tamada makes it to the finish ahead of Nieto, Brock Parks. Yuichi Kiyanari with a late surge into 13th, past Kagayama and Yanuzzo and Lucas Scassa. and ahead of Salom, David Checker, Roland Resch, and the wild card on the Suzuki Sihak, or Chiak. I was hoping not to have to pronounce that, but anyway, he finished 20th here in his local race as a wild card. What's the secret of Max Biaggi in that cool riding style?
Don't know, it's just a lovely, economical, lovely riding style. If you teach your kid to ride, you show him some Biaggi videos and say, that's how you ride a bike.
That's how you should ride a motorcycle. Nobody showed you one then when you were a lad?
No.
Second race, and hopefully giving one another a millimetre or two spare. But the man who's won, Max Biaggi, has finally won for the RSV4 Aprilia team in 2009. Lots of elderly gentlemen are suddenly very happy there in the Aprilia garage.
Yeah.
Because the absolute child amongst them, I'd forgotten that Max had turned 38 on the 26th of June, so Max Biaggi, 38 years young, has produced their first victory with the RSV4 factory Aprilia. Very impressive. Aprilia take the victory then, but what about Carlos Checker and Jonathan Ray?
Yep.
Good rides, because both of them have struggled all weekend.
You're right, yep.
It's not been a smooth weekend for him. He'd be in the mix, but he can't have foreseen such a comfortable race as that. Max Biaggi has won it. How does that tyre look, James?
Yeah, looks good to me.
Is this a bike that you would expect to be fairly kind on rear tyres?
Yeah, V4, nice spread of power. It's just a nice, well-designed, well-balanced